You're watching Yoga with Marcie, and I'm Marcie. Today we are going to do some very light flow. We will see how that goes because I'm still out of my yoga shape. So we will give it a go and we will see what happens. So we're going to start out with our left legs out, our right knee pointing to the right, and we're going to sit up nice and tall and then bend at the waist. We're going to do a couple of sitting poses before we get into our standing flow. We're going to call it flow with quotation marks because I don't know how well or how quickly we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to switch legs. And again, not that yoga flow is determined by how quickly you do things, but usually it's moving from one position into the next in a rather continuous movement. And so sometimes doesn't happen super continuously if you're tired or not that in yoga shape, but that's okay. Okay, so then we're gonna do a staff pose where we're kind of like keeping our back nice and straight with both legs out, kind of keeping ourselves straight up like this. I can't be tired already. We just started. Okay, and next one I want to do is I actually want to do pigeon pose at the beginning. We'll do it at the end too, probably. Pigeon pose is one of my favorites, but we have to get there. So in order to get into pigeon pose, let's get on our hands and knees, then let us get up into a downward dog. We're gonna try it. We're gonna give it a try today. You know, just gonna take a little bit of effort, and the more that you do it, the easier that it'll be. And so I'm just taking my dog for a walk. Not literally. I don't know where Riley is. She's probably gonna come in here and harass me sometime, but that's okay. See, it's already a little bit easier. Okay, and then we're gonna put our right leg up and have that go underneath, and then have your knee go across. And then you can do this a couple different ways. You can stay up like this. You can put your left leg up so your knee is not on the ground. That's one option. You can come down here on your elbows. You can grab some blocks if that's a little bit too much of a stretch for you. Kind of whatever variation feels good for you. That's what I recommend. I'm gonna keep my knee down just because it's hurting my foot to do this. See, which is why I always try to do variations wherever possible. If there's pain, there's really no reason with yoga to be going through these poses with pain, because in my experience, they're really good to help with pain and reducing some of that stiffness for me personally, but I don't want to cause any more pain. Okay, then we're going to switch. So we're going to get ourselves back into a downward dog, left leg up for dog split, and we'll go through, switch legs with our left leg, our knee to the left here, across the mat. Then you can do whichever version of pigeon pose feels good for you. And you can always also put like a blanket or towel underneath your leg, your knee that's on the mat. I don't know if you're practicing on hardwood floors like me, but sometimes my knees get a little sensitive with that. So that's why I try to always keep my blanket here accessible. Okay. And if you don't have yoga blocks, you can always substitute for something that is a similar size. And a lot of times you can also just do a different pose, do a variation. Most of the time, you don't really need a yoga block in order to do these types of poses. Again, this is just a variation I'm doing to lessen the stress a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to move my blocks out of the way, but I'm going to keep them within relative arm's length reach because I'm going to use them for some of these poses, but feel free to modify if you don't have any yoga blocks. Okay, so we're going to go back into downward dog. Take our dog for a walk again. And then we're going to put our right leg up. We're going to go through. Wow, that did not make it very far through. That's okay. We're going to have our right leg in front, having our legs kind of bent like this. And put our arms up for warrior one. You can see how well balanced I am. I'm gonna switch, put my leg parallel out here for warrior two, kind of bending a little bit in the knee here. As you know, I don't do any counting. I just invent whatever time I feel like doing. That's what I do. Okay, so this one I'm gonna grab my block, put on the outside here, and we're gonna put our arm overhead. And then another option way you can do this is just putting your forearm on your knee as well. So whichever one feels good for you. And then I'm gonna straighten my leg. For triangle pose, that was extended side angle. This is triangle pose. And again, for this one, if you don't have a block, you can just put your hand on your shin. Sometimes it's almost easier to do it without a block. So just feels like whatever feels good for you. And then we're gonna go back into our downward dog. Look at how many downward dogs we did today. I know mine could use a little bit to be desired, but that's okay because I'm just doing the best that I can. Okay, left leg up. We're gonna go through. That's okay if your foot doesn't make it all the way. That's what we're here to help ourselves out with. Keep my legs, get them kind of a little bit aligned here. And we'll go down a little bit for warrior one. Okay. Now we're gonna switch, make our legs parallel, our back leg parallel, facing out. And you can look towards your left arm if you like. I usually don't like to because I'm lazy, but not lazy, but just my preference. Okay, this time I'm gonna do I don't know why I straightened my leg. We're gonna do extended side angle. You can use your block right here or put your hand on your forearm or your forearm on your thigh. And then we're gonna straighten our leg here for triangle pose. Okay, I'm gonna do one more downward dog. Goodness. I know, I'm already like out of breath already. Okay, then we're gonna put a right leg up, come through again. Again, my leg didn't get that far through, but that's okay. And then we're gonna do a couple poses here, and then we'll be done with our flow because I'm already exhausted. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right here is put my blocks on their highest height, put my leg my front leg here between them, and then I'm going to kind of bend forward on my leg and trying to keep my back relatively straight, looking forward. And then I'm going to switch legs, and you don't have to do this like kind of jump. You can just go like this, just walk and switch your legs depending on how comfortable this is for you. And we're gonna just do this a couple more times. I I'm very sweaty. Are you sweaty? Again, maybe I just need to like put my house at like 0 degrees. Well, maybe not 0, but okay, we're gonna do one more time on the other side. I don't know how many we've done, but my legs are sore. Okay, then we're gonna get our blocks out of the way and do a quick forward fold. Trying to remember to bend at the waist. I swear, I keep my house very cold, and so I don't know why I'm always so sweaty. I guess because this is like exercise or something. I guess that's the point. Okay, and we're gonna do one more. Ooh, I'm dizzy. Whew, this is getting me all sweaty. Goodness, it's good though. Okay, so we're gonna do one more pose here. Let me try to remember how I do it. Okay, so I'm just gonna take one block. I'm gonna have, I think it's gonna be a little bit ahead of my foot, a little bit on the outside, and then I'm going to lean over here with my left hand on the block, and then you can put your hand on your waist here with your leg straight out, and then you can put your hand up if you feel comfortable doing that, and feel free if you need to hold on to something or do an adjustment or variation. Feel free to do whatever feels good for you. Oh, this is sore on my feet. Ooh, okay. That is, gosh, no idea like when your feet are sore. Okay, we're gonna do the other side. Okay, kind of once you find your balance or lack thereof, we're gonna fall over again. Whew. Which, this is my right foot, so you think I would be more balanced, but apparently not. Okay, we're gonna stay here for a few seconds. You can always stay here longer if your feet are not quite so sore. Perhaps too, it's just a matter of strength, and then the longer I do this type of thing, then I will get stronger in my feet as well. Okay, we're gonna do forward fold again. Okay, and we're gonna do having our legs in kind of a wide stance like this, and then do like a forward fold, but just with our legs much wider apart. And then you can put your hands flat on the ground. You can put them up like this. You can put them on your legs, kind of whatever feels good for you. This is a stretch. Like, you can see that these, or feel, at least for me, that these muscles have not been stretched in a long time. Okay, we're gonna come up, and then we're going to get back down into pigeon pose. And so I think I promised that was like our last downward dog, but just so we can get into pigeon pose, let's do a downward dog. And right leg up, but come across here. And again, you can do whichever variation feels good for you. Ugh, like dripping in sweat. Whew. I know, I love how I like preface this with like light flow, and then I'm like, let's just keep going. And I know I talked about last time how I end up doing too much, and so I'm trying to ease into things, but you know me, always trying to do the most, so we will see how sore I am tomorrow. But it really helps me anyway, honestly, to do it more often, because I feel like I'm not as stiff, that like my muscles and my joints end up getting, it feels a lot better for them the more often I do my stretching and yoga and things like that. So okay, let's switch sides. Last downward dog, I promise. Okay, left leg up. We'll go across here. Back down to our pigeon pose. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. I've got dog hair stuck to my head. But of course, there's always dog hair everywhere in this house. Do you have a dog? If you do, I'm sure you understand. Or maybe you don't have one that sheds as much as mine, but she sheds a lot. But she's not gracing us with her presence today, which is fine. Probably because I'm not talking as loud, or trying not to. So maybe she can't hear me. Although I feel like dogs have really good hearing. So maybe she's just too tired to get up. She's like, nah, I'm not getting up for that. So, okay, we're going to move our blocks out of the way. Ooh, actually, we should do a fun pose with, well, it's not really that fun, but we should do a pose with our blocks. So I'm going to bring them back here. We're going to lay down on our backs. And then the one that I want to do is supported fish. And so with this, we'll put our block underneath our back. I forget if you put it this way or this way. I think you put it this way. Put it underneath your back, kind of wherever feels good. I usually like to start kind of near the bottom. Oh, goodness. Oh, gosh, this is a stretch. And then put my other block. Oh, my God, my back just popped. Put the other block under your head. For me, this isn't very fun. I don't know why he called it a fun pose. Just for me, it helps, like, stretch my back. Since I end up having a lot of back pain. And something that I like to do is basically go back, kind of move the block back a little bit. And it just helps to kind of stretch the different areas of your back. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Gosh, I'm hungry. Are you hungry? I guess it must be all this working out stuff. Even if it feels like not doing that much, somehow it's like every little bit is more than doing nothing. So that's kind of my philosophy that, you know, sometimes we can do more, sometimes we can't, but we should be proud of ourselves for doing anything, because we could have just done nothing. And at minimum, you're watching me do something. It's okay if you're not doing it, because, you know, maybe helps you relax, helps your nervous system calm down, whatever that might be. Taking time for ourselves is always important and should be celebrated, I think. Okay, let's get our blocks out of the way here and let us lay down for Shavasana with our feet at the corners of the mat, our palms facing up. Take a couple of deep breaths here. As always, feel free to kind of let your muscles sink into the floor, just like all of your body is weightless. That's kind of how I feel anyway, but feel free to stay here as long as you like. Otherwise, if you have to get on with your day, I don't really want to. Do you want to get on with your day? I just want to lay here all day, which I could do. If I wanted, I could just lay here. But I'm going to roll onto my side, prop myself up here. Oh, goodness. You can always see the beginning and the end of my practices look very different very sweaty, very much a mess, but that's okay. So thanks for doing this with me. Congratulations and celebrate if you did. Congratulations and celebrate even if you didn't, but I appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching and stay well, my friends.